What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. So, have you all heard? Of course, you've heard now. The big news. See, hey, the former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), that is Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has defected from the opposition party APC to PDP. You know, I was surprised that many of my friends were surprised that Ribadu could surprise them with such a surprising news. I said, shoo, I guess that is because he once said that he would never, ever join PDP. He said even if the devil converts to Islam. Wait a minute, that was a Malam Herufai. Yes, you know, do well. Of course, you guys know that I don't gossip. Yes, I don't. But I heard that it is because Ribadu wants to win the governorship election in Adamawa. They said that is why he joined PDP. You know that the last governor of Adamawa was impeached and he was APC. So of course I've been very busy, reading comments on various websites, on Facebook, on Twitter since the news broke, just to hear what Nigerians have to say about this. You guys know that I don't gossip. This is a Hamza. Hi Hamza. He said useless man. Ooh, snap. Oh my God. This is very unlike a Fulani man. You like Pulaku. Wait, what is Pulaku? I'm guessing that he means integrity, honesty, loyalty, and principle. Something like that. Don't ask me how I understand Fulani. Anyway, let's keep reading. Even without PDP, you can get Adamawa now. Ribadu, may God teach you a very good lesson for this political misadventure. Nigerians. And calm down now. Let's read another one. This person says that his name is I hate sycophants. Whoever you are, your name is the bomb. For real, my brother, that is your name. The game is on. Ooh, snap, my brother. Let's read another one. This one is from Usman, and he's saying that this is what Ribadu should have written. I want to be governor, and Adamu Mazu, the mastermind of stealing election, promised me, wallahi to lie, if you switch to PDP, you will become the governor. Very simple. This is what he said. Actually, I added the last part, but you get it. Oh boy, find me a woman. Comfort K sounds like a woman's name. Yeah, let's see. Malam Ribadu, stop cooking stories for us. We don't know what you've been promised. Hold on. We don't know what you've been promised by PDP. But many of us that have personally met you are disappointed. You are one of the political harlots in Nigeria. Hey, kai. Hey, Madam Comfort. Don't be disappointed. And as a matter of fact, if anyone out there is still disappointed, better get over it on time. Nigerian politics is a game, okay? All these politicians, they know what they're doing among themselves. We the common people are usually the ones surprised. Like many of you, I was disappointed because, this is a man that has sworn he would never join PDP. Before I say anything else, call it all, I beg. Rewind me back to April 9th. This is why you don't lie. See, this was Malam Nuhu Ribadu's Facebook status on April 9th. He said, I felt personally insulted by rumors making rounds in the space over my alleged intention to dump my party. Ooh, he's talking about the All Progressive Party, that is the APC, the one that he just dumped. There is no iota of truth in that malicious falsehood being peddled by persons who do not wish me and my great party any good. I see. I'm a committed member of the APC. And I have no reason to lose confidence in my party. You can read the rest of what he said later. Take me back to 2014. We're back. As I was saying, so if you join PDP so you can become a governor, what if you still don't win that election? Would you then go back to APC? I'm just saying, because you know that the General Morwa is also contesting to become governor in Adamawa State. If you don't know this man I'm talking about, General Buba Morwa, a very good friend of Abacha. They were in the military together. This man has been governor twice. He was the governor of Lagos State before Bola Tinubu. He was also the governor of Borno State. And now he wants to be the governor of Adamawa. You see how these old people recycle themselves. So I don't think he would step down for Ribadu without a fight. He was in PDP and then he went to APC. And then he came back to PDP in March of this year. You see what I'm saying? That's how desperate the man is. Maybe now that Ribadu is representing PDP, maybe the man will go back to APC. I don't know. But I'm telling you, this man wants to taste power. They don't want to leave. And if PDP wants to rig the election for Ribadu, just to make sure that he wins, Can he have the guts to tell them, guys, no, guys, don't do that. That's bad. Don't rig election for me. So does that mean that the end justifies the means? You get what I'm saying? Which brings me back to that word, pulaku, by our friend Hamza. Thank you very much. Whatever happened to integrity if the end justifies the means? By the way, I'm not crucifying Ribadu, just so you know. No. Because I know that if you want to be a politician in Nigeria today, you have to be ready to play dirty. So no, I'm not crucifying him really. Mainly because he has not held any political office. So I can say that he has a bad record. So far, he was the AFCC chairman and he did really well at that time. A lot of the people that Ribadu arrested at that time, they were members of PDP. He arrested APC members too, bro. I'm just saying. Many people are saying he just wants to win the governorship election by switching to PDP, that he will actually do well for the people. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But you guys know that I don't know anything. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Togo. As you know, Togo has had only 4 presidents since independence in 1960. The first president was killed within 3 years in a coup, and the second was overthrown in another coup by President Nasibe Eyadema, who made himself president for 38 years. That is almost 4 decades. When he died in 2005, his son became president. I'm trying to say that for the past 47 years, only one family has been ruling Togo. Of course, there has been several protests. Many of the protesters were arrested as usual. Some people were even killed. And when the son was declared president in 2005, do you guys know that about 500 people were killed and more than 40,000 people fled the country at the time? Today, I'm hoping to call your attention to the rate at which people are being thrown in prison in Togo. About 3/4 of the people in prison have never been charged. Yet, many of them have spent years in prison, sometimes about 3 years in prison. So, according to the prison authorities in Togo, out of more than 4,000 prisoners, only about 1,000 of them were actually convicted. The rest are waiting trial and half of them have not been charged. In the main prison in the capital, Lome, for example, they have more than 2,000 inmates in a prison that was built for about 600 people. Talk about overpopulation. At a prison in Seville, which is about 30 kilometers from Lome, about 250 people are locked up in a facility that was built for only 65 inmates. Now that's about 4 times the capacity. They put about 80 people in one cell. If the person has money to bribe the guards, then they will put him in a cell that has only 26 inmates. And not only that, prisoners are fed only once a day. And that meal is so pathetic that so many of them cannot even eat it. The equivalent of the food that they are feeding them every day is less than 30 cents. 30 cents. And if your wife is bringing you food or someone from your family, that person has to pay about $2 to bribe the security guard before she will be allowed to enter with the food. Can you imagine how ridiculous that is? Now, they have to take turns to sleep at night. And of course, they sleep practically on top of each other. So at night, half of them would lie down to sleep and the others would stand up against the wall, waiting impatiently for their turn to sleep. Just imagine that. The medical facilities are so inadequate that several inmates caught a disease during a treatment for something minor. So you go in there for stomach pain, you can come out with tuberculosis or something. Yes, many sick prisoners have to bribe the security guards with about $3 before they will allow them to visit the infirmary. And of course, they don't get adequate treatment from there. Prison guards take bribes before prisoners are allowed to shower. That means you don't shower every day. And they take bribe before they let them use the toilets. Just imagine when you really have to go and you still have to pay money. And then sexual harassment of female prisoners is so rampant that several babies have been delivered in the prison. They'll just take the baby away from them. The women are still there. And the prisoners die anyhow. They're so crowded that sometimes it takes days before the guards know that someone has died. Usually, that's after the person started smelling. There are no official statistics on the number of prison deaths in Togo, but 2 years ago, 28 prisoners had died in the first 3 months of the year. 28! Just the first 3 months, January, February, and March, 28 people have died. So you can imagine how many people die in a year. Now, the ridiculous thing is why some of them were arrested in the first place. Do you know that many of them were accused of petty crimes like stealing a chicken? Can you imagine? Or they will say that they refused to pay a microfinance loan. In many cases, these people are actually innocent. By the way, they also imprison people for protesting or for speaking against the government. So if I were to be doing this kind of show in Togo right now, Yeah, you understand. I read about a 16-year-old boy. His name is Amenosi Dodone, who was detained for a month after being arrested during a protest for fair elections. Even though he was there for about 30 days, it still breaks my heart when he said that during my 30-day detention, I never laid down. I stayed upright all night and my feet were so swollen. I said, poor guy. I'm talking about this today because year after year, the government of Togo would promise that, oh, they would reform the prisons in Togo. Nah lie, it's like they don't even care that these are human beings that are being treated like this. With a population of only 6 million people, only 6 million, habba, find a solution now, and you have a GDP of $6.4 billion. There's no reason why human beings should be treated like this. It's funny because their present president, the son of the dictator, yes, he's also a dictator anyway, the guy studied in Europe, he studied in the US. It's not like he doesn't know how life works elsewhere, but it's like other dictators, they just want to keep their people down. Oh, by the way, before I forget, there are at least 800 Nigerians imprisoned in Togo. Yes, so some of these guys you are looking at, they are Nigerians. Now that you know the situation in Togo, allow me to say that it's actually not better in Nigeria, the giant of Africa. Have you seen pictures of our prisons lately? Oh my god. Do you know that hundreds of prisoners die in Nigeria every year? But our prisons are overcrowded in Nigeria. And we don't have that many, about 60,000 prisoners. A country of 170 million people. If we have about 60,000 prisoners, we should be able to take good care of them. They don't feed them good food. If somebody wants to bring them food, they have to bribe the security guys before they will let them bring food in. They pile them on top of each other. So yeah, basically it's the same thing in Nigeria. Yes, and it's a shame. A lot of them are university graduates, by the way. Many of them were doing yahoo business when they arrested them. If you are a nobody and you don't know anybody in Nigeria, you get the same treatment. Unless you're somebody like Alamesia, you know, when he was arrested. No. He was getting special treatment even before Mr. President pardoned him. You get what I'm saying? It's a shame. It's time for Nigeria to wake up and fix our prisons. And it's time for Togo to reform its prisons as it's been promising. And guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Sierra Leone, it's so unfortunate that Ebola continues to kill people every day. More than 1,000 people have died in Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Nigeria put together. I was so upset though to hear that the virus got to Sierra Leone simply because of a female traditional healer who claimed that she could cure Ebola. So people started bringing in patients from other countries, from Guinea, from Sierra Leone. You know that the porous border between Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia have been a major contributor to the uncontrollable spread of this outbreak. In fact, in some parts of Sierra Leone, you can see Guinea across the lake. Like this man, he's standing in Sierra Leone and he's pointing towards Guinea. So they brought in a lot of Ebola patients to this woman, the traditional herbalist, and she could not cure not even one of them. They all died, but not before they gave her the virus. And when she died, people from neighboring villages and towns, they all came for her funeral because she was very influential in the community. And suddenly, when those ones got home, they started recording cases of Ebola in their villages, in their towns. At least 365 Ebola deaths have been linked to having contact with this traditional healer. I said, why now? This is ignorance, which is another deadly disease, by the way. Why didn't she just go to these people in their countries? Why ask them to come into Sierra Leone? Although I can't really blame those who went to her for treatment because they don't have enough doctors. In fact, in Sierra Leone, they have only one health worker for every 5,260 patients. Just imagine that, more than 5,000 people for every doctor. Now, before you pity Sierra Leone, my Niger people, official statistics shows that there is only one doctor for every 3,500 patients in Nigeria. It's not that we don't have a lot of good Nigerian doctors, it's just that many of them prefer to live and work abroad. And I don't blame them. How can you be doing surgery with generator? A lot of our hospitals are so dilapidated that doctors went on strike protesting that the government has to upgrade the hospitals, among other things. And guess what Mr. President did? He fired them. He fired about 16,000 medical doctors in Nigeria just last week. I'm telling you though, if the Nigerian government can upgrade our hospitals and fix electricity and buy all the latest equipment and fix the roads, so many Nigerian doctors and Nigerian nurses will come back home. According to World Health Organization, Nigeria needs an additional 283,000 doctors before we'll have adequate number of doctors for our population. In Liberia, where they had less than 200 doctors in the whole country. I'm like, what? But I'm guessing though that this is because of the exodus of a lot of professionals after the war. Guess what? When Ebola broke out, 35% of them fled the country. Now they have only about 50 doctors in Liberia. Yeah, you can see how messed up that is. Although I was so glad to hear that the US sent that drug, Zimap, to Liberia. Unfortunately, because of the limited supply, only about 3 people were treated. Which is why I keep saying it over and over. The Africans need to do our own research and come up with the medicine. Like Japan did, like Canada is doing, especially since the outbreak is in Africa. If America doesn't come up with Zimap, what would we do? Won't we find a solution? You know, I was so excited when that Nigerian scientist went back home with nanosilver. Unfortunately though, we're yet to hear of anyone treated and healed by nanosilver. In fact, they're saying that the thing is pesticide. I said, ha. By the way, can you believe that armed robbers in Liberia went and robbed Ebola patients? Guess what they stole? Blood-stained bed sheets and mattresses. I'm like, really? I could not believe it. Seriously, there are other ways of killing yourself. But you know, I'm so glad to see Nigerian president in action since the Ebola outbreak. Oh boy, did I ask you to play that? I'm talking about Mr. President now. What is your own now? You're never serious. No, this is a serious issue. You want her to be shaking their hands when all of them like that, they may have Ebola virus. I know that is not Nigeria. Can you blame Mama Patience? You know, do my first lady. As I was saying, Mr. President has really tried since the Ebola virus. First of all, he commissioned hand sanitizers. You know that everybody in Nigeria is now using hand sanitizers? I heard that this thing has now become gold in Nigeria, that is so expensive now that they've doubled the price. If you want to learn how to make your own sanitizers, I beg, make sure that you check out Sisi Yemi's video. Sisi Yemi, Sisi Eko, very short and straight to the point. She will tell you how to do your own. It's true that we have to keep encouraging proper sanitation in Nigeria, although a lot of people don't really think that that prevents or kill Ebola virus. Unlike some of you though, I'm very impressed. At least he's doing something, you know. But you know, we shouldn't have waited for Ebola to have hand sanitizers in all public places in Nigeria, especially like public toilets. Like here in America, you find this thing that Mr. President is commissioning in toilets and stuff like that, you know. But I'm glad that we're starting from somewhere. He also donated $3.5 million to Guinea for them to fight Ebola. He also donated $500,000 to Liberia for them to fight Ebola as well. Mr. President is really upset with that Liberian man, Patrick Sawyer, who brought Ebola to Nigeria.
Sawyer that brought this Ebola to Nigeria also contacted it because the sister had Ebola and he went for the burial and he participated in a way that he became a suspect, and the country asked him not to leave the country, let them observe him. But the crazy man decided to smuggle himself out, and that is now we are suffering.
You see what I'm saying? Yes, I'm very upset too. I agree with Mr. President. It's ridiculous that the guy would travel to Nigeria when he knew that he had contracted the virus. So it's very mean. And on top of that, the man peed on the health workers that were treating him in Nigeria. How I wish that Mr. President would also get upset like that, you know, with other issues in Nigeria, like the issue of Boko Haram and the kidnapped girls, how our roads are killing people every day, and poor electricity. Yeah, we wish he would. As many of you know, the Liberian man knowingly transmitted the virus to several health workers in Lagos when they told him that he had Ebola. Just imagine that. Now, 5 people have died in Nigeria, and the most recent one was Dr. Stella Adadevo, who treated Patrick Sawyer. She knew that it was contagious, you know, but she put her life on line to save that man, and it's so unfortunate that the man would knowingly infect others. For a long time, the doctor and her family begged the US government to send Zimap for her treatment, but it never came. Dr. Stella died last Tuesday. She was the most senior doctor at First Consultant Hospital in Lagos. I think that she was a hero and that she deserves to be honored. And please accept my deepest condolences to all her family members. It's so unfortunate that we are losing great minds like this. May her soul rest in peace. Guess what? I'm just kidding around. So before I read the emails today, I like to give you guys an update on a woman that I talked about some months ago that has breast cancer. Her name is Kubrat Yusuf. I'm glad to tell you guys that Kubrat is doing much better. Thank you to everyone that donated at that time. They did the surgery and the husband was kind enough to send me some pictures of the progress. In case you don't know who I'm talking about, this is Kubrat before the surgery. I'm sorry about the graphic pictures, but hey, it is what it is. This is her after the surgery. Unfortunately for Kubrat though, the couple ran out of money already, so they are not able to do chemotherapy, and you know that is very important for her to do. Right now, he's desperately looking for 400,000 naira. 400,000 naira. That's not even up to $2,500. That's like 2,400 and something dollars. So please, if anyone out there can donate, this is not a scam at all. The last time I spoke with the husband, his name is Victor, he said that so many Nigerian politicians had promised them money, like they would promise in front of a lot of people, but that whenever he goes to their office or their house to ask for the money, that they keep telling him, come back, come back. So far nothing has happened from many of these politicians. And then he added that some of them would even ask him that which political party are you working for, and if he's not supporting their party, then they will tell him up front, sorry, we can't help you. Can you imagine that? Right now, the couple have lost their youngest child. Her name was Fumilayo. Apparently, Kubrat was still breastfeeding the little girl for months without knowing that she had breast cancer. That is on top of losing their boy. They lost their boy about 3 years ago. His name was Abdul Latif. So now they only have one child. That is Miriam. So this is Miriam, and she's the only one left. And of course, the mother has not been able to take care of her because of the sickness. So she's been staying with relatives. So please and please help them out if you can, even if it's $20. I'm telling you, it goes a long way. The quicker she gets treatment, the earlier she'll be able to go and take care of her child, the only one that is left. So please, you can contact Victor through this number. And guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Before I leave today, I like to read some of your emails, and the first one is from Nii, and he says, hi Adeola, my name is Adeni Yotun, writing from Paris. I decided not to write because you have been doing a good job. Lately though, I was highly disappointed in you and Dr. Damages, okay, for not mentioning or saying anything in your last episode about the hundreds of Nigerians in America who went to stage a welcome support for President Goodluck Jonathan and his entourage who came to Washington DC after they collected $20 each. Well, I'm tempted to say that you and Dr. Damages took out of the money. Upon all the respect I have for both of you, I did not know that you have a price. If yes, you are too cheap. $20. My brother, oh no, please don't say that $20 is cheap. You know how much that is in naira. I can send that money to my uncle's brother's cousin's nephew, you know, to support the school fees, But you know, jokes aside, I actually talked about this last week. It was Holiday that took it out when he was editing because the show was getting too long. But Niyi is absolutely right. There were some Nigerians that staged all kinds of things for Jonathan when he came to Washington DC about 2 weeks ago. They staged a welcome for him. They staged their own protest. They said they're protesting against Boko Haram instead of protesting against Jonathan for not doing anything about the missing girls. So of course, those people were probably paid. So if you were paid $20 to make Jonathan look good in America, you are so cheap. Like Niyi said, you are very, very cheap. $20. Ha! $20. Call it the war. What a shame. Thank you, Jerry, Mr. Niyi, for this email. Our next email is from Princess Uche Ugoligbune. And she says, hi Adeola, on Ebola issue, the Nigerian government should endeavor to provide adequate security so that more people do not escape from the quarantine centers. We have too many issues to deal with already. Thank you. Well, she's actually talking about the fact that a nurse that was infected escaped from isolation in Nigeria. Can you believe? It's so unfortunate. And before people would not want to escape, you have to make the place comfortable for them as well. There have to be psychologists, people that will counsel them and make them know why they are being isolated, the advantages of them being isolated and all that. By the way, I get a lot of complimentary emails, a lot of encouragement. Thank you. But that's all the time that I have for emails today. Please keep sending your emails to adeola.keepingitreal@gmail.com. Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out!
Welcome to First View Luxury Hotel. At First View Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit First View Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeola off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 080-7578-7135 or 080-9990-0601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.firstviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. First View Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.